Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial on how to get started with Syncfusion's ASP.NET Core Data Grid component. In this video, I'll show you how easy it is to add a data grid to an ASP.NET Core web application. I'll also show you how to bind data in a grid and enable some features like paging, sorting, filtering, and grouping. Let me start with the creation process of an ASP.NET Core web application. Make sure you have installed one of the following version of .NET SDK in your machine. You also need to install one of the IDEs. In this video, I'll use Visual Studio 2022. First, I open Visual Studio 2022 and choose Create a new project from the dashboard. Select ASP.NET Core Web Application from the template and click the Next button. Now, let me create a project with default configuration like name and location. Make sure the .NET 6.0 framework is selected in the dropdown. The project has been created and is ready to use. Now, I will show you the step-by-step process for adding a Syncfusion ASP.NET Core Data Grid to it. I open the NuGet package manager. Search for Syncfusion EJ2 ASP.NET Core package and install it in my application. After the package is installed, you can find it under the Packages folder. Next, I open the viewimports.razor file and import the Syncfusion EJ2 tag helper. I navigate to the Layout CSHTML page and add a Syncfusion CSS style reference using the CDN link. Then, add the script reference and register the script manager using the EJS scripts tag at the end of the body section. Then I need to register the Syncfusion license to avoid license validation message. I open the program.cs file and register the license key using the register license method. To add a grid, I navigate to index.cshtml page and include the EJS grid tag and set the ID attribute. The grid is not visible on the browser now as there is no data bound to it. I'm going to show you how to add data to the grid to see its basic look and functionality. To write the C# code, right-click this page and click View Code. I define a model class, Order Details, and add a field, Order ID. In the same way, I define the other fields, Customer ID, Employee ID, Freight, Ship City, and Order Date, with appropriate types. Now, let me create a list order based on the Order Details model class. Then define the Order Details constructor method with arguments to get the input for each field defined in this model class. Then define the getAllRecords method to generate the object randomly for the fields, Order ID, Customer ID, Employee ID, Freight, Ship City, and Order Date. At last, return the generated object. Open the index.cshtml page, get the generated object using the getAllRecords method, and store it in the variable order. Then assign this object to the dataSource property. Now let me run the application and show you the output in the browser. Here, you will see a simple grid displaying all the provided columns in the dataSource. Now, I will show you how to customize and display specific columns in the data grid. To do so, I include the eGrid columns tag inside the EJS grid tag. This eGrid columns tag has several column-specific options to define and customize them, which I will cover in my upcoming video. Now, I will show you some basic options one by one. Here I include the eGrid column tag and add the field property to map the appropriate field name from the model class Order Details. Then I include the header text property and set its value to Order ID. The value assigned to this header text property will be displayed as the title for the grid columns. Then I add the text align property and set its value to right to align the text to the right side of the column border. Set the custom width to 120 pixels. In the same way, I define the other column fields. For the order date column, include an additional format property and set its value to YMD to display the short date pattern. DataGrid supports most of the standard C# datetime formats. For the freight column, I apply the currency format. You will see the column header text and width customized. Data in the order ID column is right-aligned. Short date format is applied to the order date column, and currency format to the freight column. Now, let's see how to enable some of the important features of the data grid. I'll start with the paging feature. Imagine you have a huge number of records stored, and you would like to view limited records per page. This is possible by enabling the paging feature. I add the allow paging property and set its value to true in the data grid code. In this example, I'm going to display 5 records per page. So, include the eGrid page settings tag and set the page size property value to 5. Now, let's check the output in the browser. You can now see the grid displaying 5 records on each page. Now I'll show you how to sort records in a data grid. By enabling the sorting feature, records can be sorted in ascending or descending order when the appropriate column header is clicked. Now, I add the allow sorting property and set its value to true. To demonstrate this feature, I open index.cshtml.cs page. I remove the duplicate insertion by reducing the for loop condition value to 2. In this example, I am sorting the grid records based on the customer name column, just by clicking its header. There are some cases where you may need to filter and view the grid records based on specific criteria. To perform filtering, I need to include the allow filtering property and set its value to true. In the output, when I type some text value in the customer name column, the grid displays the matching records. To group records and view them hierarchically based on a specific grid column value, enable the grouping feature. Here I will add the allow grouping property and set its value to true. To demonstrate this, I have added an additional row in the order object, which has the same city value, Berlin. See here, when I drag the ship city column header and drop it into the group drop area, grid data is grouped based on the city. Now let me quickly summarize what we have seen so far. I have shown you how to create an ASP.NET Core web application and add Syncfusion packages to it. I showed you how to bind data and enable a few of its important features. To learn more about grid features, you can check the documentation link provided in the below description. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel.